So when you're looking at cameras, you may have thought about the Canon SL3, known as the 250D. What is it all about? Is it a good camera? You know what? It's probably one of my favorite starting cameras for DSLR photography and video and live streaming. You know, you don't see this camera a lot because half the time it's in front of me recording me. So since I've changed my setup slightly, the last 5 months or so have been, all the videos have been recorded with this camera. It's simply been live streaming and recording video for me all the time. I thought I'll do a little change up. The camera you're looking at right now is your focus needs more focus. The Canon G7X Mark III is the camera that you're seeing me on. It's set on its widest option, which is like 24mm equivalent. It's at 1.8 and 200 ISO. But the moral of the story is here, it's closer to me, so it's not as pleasing as this camera when I set it further away and it gives you like really nice background blur. What lenses can you get for the EOS 250D? Right now I have a cheap Yongnuo lens on there. It's not the best lens for video. It makes loads of noise when it's focusing. But for photo, it's actually quite decent. So consider that as a cheap lens at $120-ish. Yongnuo 35mm EF mount. That's number one. If you want to do video work with this camera, you want something with a low aperture. 2.8 is a nice aperture lens. Let's plug that on there. Look at that beauty. Image stabilized. You've got 70 to 55 zoom range. It's not too heavy, still manageable to hold and do nice video work. It's an image stabilized lens, so you've got image stabilization in the camera. If you use a high mode, it crops the video, but if you use it standard, you've got a little bit extra stabilization, and that camera is actually quite nice for vlogging. If you've got a cameraman, which I tend to have when I'm out and about, but if you're doing that, that's quite intense. Let me show you. That's quite a big camera. So it might not be the best option, but do think about it. With that lens, it actually makes a big difference, because you've got you look as nice, smooth. It's not loud. Let me show you. So when you're doing video, you can't really hear it in the video. If you've got a wireless mic system, then you're even better. You've got your flip out screen, so you've got everything you need to have to give you nice, steady, smooth footage. And that looks massive. If you want to go ultra mode, you can simply take that off. If you're doing ultimate portrait and you want sharp photographs, get yourself a 100mm 2.8. That works quite nicely as a lens. No image stabilization on this version, but you can get the image stabilized version. Works well. You can see it handles it nicely. And I'll show you the behemoth as well. We've got a 70 to 200, which is right now not here. Let me magically make that lens appear. So as if by magic, we have got the bigger lens on there. Obviously the body will look tiny in comparison here because that's a small body. However, the lens will get you all those shots that you're not sure you can get. 70 to 200, 2.8 is a great lens for overall options. It's got image stabilization. You're going to get all the shots that you didn't think you're going to get because you're too far away. It actually, the camera is probably a bit too small, but you'll be amazed how well the small cameras, crop sensor cameras, do perform with these lenses. It is the lens that makes the camera, so it's worth thinking about. So that there is a quick look at a few options. I have not shown you another lens, which would be something that people could probably easily get. That is in the range of like $2,000-3,000 depending on the version you get of it. If it's a version 3, if it's image stabilized, and if it's a 2.8, you can go down the lines of 24-70 2.8. You can also get 24-105, which has image stabilization, but you'll see that is a full frame lens, and that compared to that, the difference is basically same kind of focal length. However, this one has image stabilization for crop sensors video. That works very well, and it's a bit cheaper than buying the equivalent 24-105, which is probably heavier as well. So consider that. Definitely a few options there to help you with finding the right lens for your camera, especially if you've got an SL2. These lenses will all fit, and if you upgrade, a lot of these work on full frame cameras apart from the 17 to 55 2.8. So keep that in mind. hopefully that helps you. I have got a few videos about the SL3 250D, so make sure you check that there, and I'll see you on that video.